like to present you with a photo book on our behalf. Again, once again, thanks to the magnificent SM for that. A card and some check. And one last thing I'd just say about the checks. It has been a pleasure. Normally you go round and try and get money out of people in this place. You know what it's like with Blackwell. Trying to get money out of these people is a nightmare. But the generosity, I have never known generosity like it. So give yourselves a big round of applause.
Right, if you carry on, I'm just going to read my book for a while.
Oh.
I don't know how Dexter does it from memory, I can't do that. I've been here for years. Now, I didn't know where to stand. Is it this one mic or the three mics over there? I'm quite sure. We'll settle for here. The toilets are full. No more going to the toilets. The toilets are full. Oh, sorry, I'm a bit. Right, firstly, I'd just like to thank all the staff who are prepared today. I won't list them all because somebody's done that already, but everyone who's done everything from the mash to the reading to different languages, from this setup here to the barbecue, everyone. It's fantastic, and I love the video. I spent many an hour watching that video. For the speech, I'd like to just thank Hong for quality assurance. She's in a new school, she's already director of quality assurance, so she's pretty good at that. Obviously, I need to thank that you'll find about the THs later on. But I need to thank Father Hugh for celebrating Mass for us. I thought that was brilliant. I lost where I am already, so I'll cross something there. If people get thanking, I'll cross out all my thanks, and I can't really write. No, as well as Essen and Tam, I need to thank Publicity Pam for helping out when Tam suddenly disappeared for a while. So thanks to her as well. Now, of course, a big thank you to all for you coming to help me celebrate 43 years, 27 here and 16 just over the road. Right, that's enough thanks now. That's it. This is going to be the last chance of me speaking into this mic, so I'm going to make the most of it. You thought Declan speaks as long, you haven't seen anything yet. Wow, so this is it. Finally. Maybe I told his glasses, you might have noticed that. This one I've been waiting for since 1970, you won't believe that, 1970 when I got my first teaching job. All these other speeches have been a rehearsal. When I started teaching in 1970, I earned £37 a week. And this doesn't seem much, put it in context in those days. You go into a departmental store with a couple of pounds in your pocket, come out with a new wristwatch, a pair of shoes, 2 shirts, and still have enough money left to get a cab home. Of course, CCTV put a stop to that. I realise now how much easier it is writing speeches about other people than yourself. I think that's what put me off retiring for so long. As usual, there's no logical order to this speech, just my ramblings. I've done so many retirement speeches for other people and I've run out of original things to say. Don't be surprised if you hear some lines from previous speeches. Just pretend it's the first time. You know how these people endlessly talk about themselves, get on your nerves? Well, that's what I'm going to do for the next 2 hours. And I make no apology, this is about me. Let me start by saying how privileged I feel to work with so many inspirational, compassionate and hard-working colleagues. I'm just so sorry no one could be here tonight. It's good to see so many old faces here. I mean old in a relative sense, not old in terms of age. However, I did hear someone saying the other day, that the secret to staying looking young is to hang out with older people. So I might be renewing some old contacts tonight. That didn't go too well, carry on. Now, I'm now going to give you a quick journey through my life prior to OLC. Yes, it was life prior to OLC, and hopefully afterwards. I started school when I was 4. And I've been in education for 64 years. Now, when I was 4, I used to get the bus to school by myself. It's a different world then. Now, we're jumping a few years. 8 years old, I ran across the road at the bottom of a hill where I lived, and I got knocked over by a push bike. Hit my head on the curb and fractured my skull. Now, all the local kids were playing out, so they ran to get my mum, who whacked me for running across the road. She had a fashionable way of hitting you. I don't think it exists anymore. Every word was followed by a whack. I told you never to run across that road. I never did again. So. When she calmed down, she said, "You've shown me up again. Who gets knocked over by a bike?" At least it could have been a car. Of course, at that stage, I never realised I fractured my skull, so I'll never let her forget the fact that she hit me when I was nearly dying. In this speech, death is a bit of a recurring theme, so I hope there's no psychoanalysts here. Now, soon after, I moved to Essex. Now, we're jumping a few years. Then at 11, I failed 11 plus. Yes, I'm still waiting for my remark. Part of the reason was I never read a book. We had no books in my house. The first book we got was a ration book, and then a catalogue, and finally after I left home they got a phone directory. Then I went off to John Payne in Chelmsford, which I have many links in the room too, but that's it, that bit. At 18 I went off to St Mary's, Strawberry Hill to train to be a teacher. I did my first teaching practice at St Aloysius in April 1967, just 19 years old. In 1970 I went on to do a PhD in atomic physics. Yeah, just my luck, my research was on the half-width of lines. But my problem is I've never been able to say words ending in TH or even start with TH. And I was stuck for 3 years trying to explain to people what I was doing and didn't know what I was talking about. I did half-width for lines. So even now when teaching about rectangles, I say the length is 8 centimetres and it's 4 centimetres wide, rather than say the width is 4. In 1973 I started teaching permanently just across the road. Back then there was no structured programs for NQTs. In fact, the term NQT didn't exist. There was no distinction made, you just sank or swam. Anyway, after a while I noticed quite a few staff would just walk out of their classes when the kids would become too unruly. So I thought, that's a good idea, I'll try that. So they were getting a bit unruly and I walked out on them. But there was no one around to go back into the lesson. So I had to go back. And the kids didn't even notice I've been gone. So I never tried that again. However, after teaching a few years, I often used to just pop out of my class just for a wander around. My group was well used to this, so on one occasion when I returned, they'd all disappeared. And then I had to go looking for them around. Another time they put a rubbish bin on top of the door, that whole trick. But unfortunately, it was the deputy head who walked in, not me. And she was not best pleased. Now, the trouble with being a teacher all your life is it gets into your head. So you're always on duty. So when Declan was giving that great speech, fantastic speech, I'd say, Declan, ooh, well done, I was making notes, what went well, you know. Even better if this. They're just in school, but when you're out at school at the bus stop, you want to tell everyone to line up for the bus. Or in the shop, telling the assistant to take the nose tail out before she's going. Or when you're in the cinema, trying to take the mobile phone off people. Now, 4 years ago, now people keep asking me this evening, that's why I didn't tell you because it spoils it. 4 years ago, I started thinking, what can I do when I retire? I'm already well travelled. The two subjects I know most about are education and divorce. So that was it. I settled on putting my marriage experience to good use. I wanted to work in a marriage tribunal, but I thought I'd better learn something about it first. So I applied to take a Master's in Canon Law at Heathrow. I sent my application in at 5 p.m. and by 10 p.m. on the same day, I was accepted on the course. Either they were desperate or they spotted an inspirational student. I prefer that. Then I got hooked on Canon Law because 2 years at Heathrow was not enough. I decided to do a JCL at Leuven in Belgium, a 3-year course. Now I thought the work at Heathrow was demanding, but this work is a killer. It's only really Hong, the RE department, and Brian can testify, because I'm always going to all those for some sort of inspiration and support. Now, you had to do an MA at the end of the first year at Leuven, so I now have a BSc, MPhil, PhD, MSc, MA, MA. I'm collecting a degree like confetti. All I want to do is work in a marriage tribunal. I don't care about the qualifications, but I do like to show off.